Hey, today I'm going to tell you about a new episode of Black Mirror. Picture this. A man, completely absorbed in his work, suddenly loses his wife. His whole world collapses. But then, a new company appears with a tempting offer. Want your loved one to stay with you? Just subscribe. Yeah, like Netflix, only instead of shows, you get your partner back. Let's rewind a bit and watch how this couple started what seemed like a normal day with a long-awaited notification. The screen reads, "Happy anniversary, 3 years together." The morning begins with familiar smiles and gentle hugs. She's a biology teacher. He's a regular working guy. Her students are learning about pollen, and there's something alive in the air, tender and spring-like. After class, she notices a girl being teased for her worn-out shoes. A few kind words later, the girl walks away looking a little stronger. A colleague invites her out that evening, but the teacher politely declines. She and her husband have a special night planned. They go back to the place where it all began. The burgers are still the same, just like the ceiling in their hotel room where their old chewing gum still sticks, a tiny time capsule. The night ends in intimacy, followed by breathing exercises, hoping maybe this time it'll work. It's not their first try, but again, it doesn't happen. A few days later, her period arrives. When Mike returns to work, his boss tells him to find the crane operator who's probably zoning out in the break room. And sure enough, the guy's not just zoning out, he's watching Dumb Shtoy, a site where people do anything for money. At that moment, the guy's drinking his own pee for $20. Mike winces, sighs, and gets back to work. And then everything falls apart. His wife, in the middle of teaching a new biology topic, suddenly collapses. Mike drops everything and rushes to the hospital. A doctor meets him in the hallway, voice disturbingly calm. Amanda has a tumor, temporal lobe, and it's already too deep. But then comes something unexpected. There's this new company, practically unknown. Doctors don't take it seriously yet, but they offer a possibility. It's an experimental procedure that, well, sounds like something out of sci-fi. But in short, it's a backup, literally. They create a copy of the brain on a server, remove the tumor along with part of the tissue, and replace it with synthetic material. If something goes wrong, you can always roll back to the last save. Mike is barely listening until Linda walks into the office, introduces herself, and immediately drops the twist. Yeah, it sounds crazy, but here she is, living proof. A year and a half ago, she got into a car accident and became their first client. Her kids still complain she yells about dirty dishes just like before, which to her means it works. Those words crunch around in Mike's brain. He exhales and agrees. Linda nods, adding one last detail. The procedure itself is free, but after that, it's $300 a month. A subscription. Like a streaming service, only you're paying for your loved one's brain to keep functioning. One more catch. Amanda now depends on signal reception, because the synthetic brain segments rely on local antenna coverage. So no moving too far away. Although, according to Linda, the network's expanding, and maybe in 5 to 15 years it'll be everywhere. The operation goes well. The doctors deliver the news with a kind of ceremonial cheer, like congratulating him on the birth of a new version of his wife. Mike smiles. He holds her hand, and for a moment, everything feels like it's going to be okay until she asks about the payment. He tries to put it gently. Picked up a couple extra shifts. We'll push back the trip to see my dad in Ireland. He's kind of a jerk now, anyway. Amanda takes it calmly. On the surface, but a week passes, then another, and life tightens into a knot. Mike falls into a loop. His calendar is now just shifts. Day, night, day again. Time off doesn't exist. Even the tiny joy of cracking open a beer at the end of the day gets cut. Every dollar is accounted for. Every purchase is scrutinized. More and more, he eats dinner not with his wife, but with silence and his own exhaustion. Exhaustion from this supposedly happy new life. At work, he catches his coworker mid-production process, once again glued to that awful site Dumb Shtoy, where only the most desperate creators post. This time, some genius is yanking out his own tooth for $20. At home, things should be more peaceful. But Amanda now naps constantly, so much that she completely forgets their anniversary. Mike, of course, reminds her, and they decide to plan a little trip, just to a neighboring state, one that's officially approved. The drive starts out pleasant, but the conversation slowly spirals into an argument. It's the same old thing, money. Where it goes, what it's spent on, and then silence. Amanda shuts off, just mid-sentence, like a phone on 0%. Mike panics, thinking the worst. But the moment the car crosses the welcome sign into their home county, her eyes flick open. She doesn't even realize she was gone. The next morning, they head to the company. Linda, the corporate rep, explains calmly, the coverage zone is limited. If you want to travel farther, you'll need to upgrade to the Plus subscription. Just $800 a month. Yep, dollars. In return, you get access to all of North America. And as a bonus, your wife might glitch a little. Mostly memory lapses. Mike doesn't believe how bad it is until he sees it for himself. At work, Amanda starts blurting out ad slogans, things she has no memory of saying. At first, it's kind of cute. I mean, kids love honey-flavored cereal, right? Especially when the teacher swears that bees sprinkle it directly onto Honey Snacks morning bites. But then it gets weird. She tells a student whose parents are fighting to check out a family values counseling website. Later that night, right in the middle of intimacy, she starts casually pitching aloe lube and strawberry-flavored condoms. That's the breaking point. They march back to the company. The response? Want to remove ads? Upgrade to Plus. No other options available. The issue is, that plan removes ads but also unlocks full mobility outside one state. And they still can't afford it. At school, Amanda's ad glitches start creeping into her teaching. Parents complain. Administration issues a warning. One more incident and she's done. Mike realizes there's no choice. So one night, while Amanda sleeps, he logs back into the dumb Star-Tier site. This time, not out of curiosity, but survival. He hides his face, fires up a VPN, and goes for it. A few phone calls later, just after sunrise, the Plus subscription is activated. No more ads, no more glitches, just Amanda. Calm, present, whole. Only now, the kids at school don't look at her the same way they used to. It's like they can sense something's off. Meanwhile, Mike is in a locked room, snapping a mousetrap on his tongue for $90 because every single dollar counts now. Amanda, of course, has no idea. Mike laughs it off, says he just bit it. But one thing starts gnawing at him. She's sleeping more. First it was 10 hours, now it's 12. And it doesn't feel like normal exhaustion. The answer, of course, comes quickly. Turns out, in the latest software update, the company made a small optimization. While the user is asleep, their brain helps process server data. So essentially, her consciousness works for them, round the clock. To restore her energy and joy to even just match the pre-op levels, they now offer a new tier. Lux, $1,800 a month. But hey, with that, you can manage mood, energy, and even skill levels via mobile app. And if that price stings, you can always buy a booster for a couple of days. You know, for an anniversary or a big meeting. Amanda leaves the office, but Mike stays behind. He asks questions, learns the costs. And on the drive home, he already knows what he has to do. That night, he goes back on the dumb Star-Tier site. This time, no mask. Rips it off for $500 and gets busy with an adult toy, not for the money, but for the chance to give Amanda the best gift of their relationship. On their anniversary, he activates Lux for 12 hours. Amanda wakes up like she's been reborn. The world is brighter, colors richer, the taste of a burger, unreal. She touches Mike's hand and marvels at the texture of his skin. Later, they make love, and for the first time in her life, her body seems to understand what the word ecstasy actually means. A full reset. Mike's eyes tear up. He feels like he got the real Amanda back. But the fairy tale lasts only until morning. The booster ends, and she feels it immediately. Everything goes dull again. Muted, heavy, not even coffee helps. Mike heads to work, where something is definitely coming his way. And he was right. Coworkers shoot side eyes, and on the bulletin board, waiting just for him, is the photo, straight from the dumb Star-Tier site. He immediately knows who leaked it and storms into the neighboring department. One punch, then another, the fight ignites like a matchstick. And then, by pure accident, a crane rolls over the guy mid-scuffle. Talk about a day gone wrong. Mike heads home and tells Amanda quietly, emotionless, I got fired, after 10 years of loyal service. He doesn't tell her why, just nods like he's got it under control. But inside, fear is bubbling. He can't afford the Plus plan anymore, which means they'll have to downgrade, which means ads again, fatigue again. And probably, Amanda loses her job. She senses it, too clearly. But still, she holds it together. Mike tries to plead with the company. They've been loyal. Surely there's a discount? A loyalty program? Some way to keep the current level for less? The customer service agent listens in silence, then replies, no programs, no discounts, even if you're the face of our brochure. Then Mike remembers the savings account, the one for a baby, for a new life. He says it out loud, like trying to convince himself. But the agent shakes their head, explains that ever since Amanda's brain was modified, pregnancy isn't just biology, it's a premium feature. $90 a month just to support cognitive stability through the process. Mike's hands shake. He stands and walks out, eyes blank. Amanda follows. The agent, unbothered, casually bumps their virtual slider to plus 60% patience for clients and keeps smiling. 1 year later, another anniversary is near. Amanda's still asleep. And Mike isn't the man he used to be. Thinner, hollow-eyed, sunken. He's selling a baby crib online. The buyer, wide-eyed and twitchy, says it's for a music video. They're gonna burn it for the shot. Mike laughs. Loud, borderline maniacal. It echoes in two tones, his voice and through the gaps in his teeth. Two of them, by the way, are missing. Maybe sold for $100 during another dumb shoot stream. He comes home, wakes Amanda. She blinks, unsure what day it is. Then remembers. Anniversary. Mike smiles and gives her Lux. Not long, just 30 minutes. But in those 30 minutes, he gives everything, tries to craft a perfect moment. They're little now, filled with warmth, emotion, the real Amanda. No lags, no ad breaks. And in that short, fragile slice of time, she looks him in the eyes and says, Mike, maybe it's time? He's silent, a beat, and nods. No words needed. When the subscription ends and every system function shuts down, Mike walks slowly to the bed. She's smiling. And then, again, a voice, a pre-installed ad message breaks the silence. He shivers. His eyes hold exhaustion, love, and helplessness. Then, quiet. When it's all over, he locks himself in a room, alone, with a knife, and an open laptop, where his angry fans are already waiting.